Hello, building leaders. I wanted to share with you this week some resources on defeating Proposal 3, why it's important, and why we're trying to get these resources into your hands. First of all, the catchphrase, fight like heaven, came out of the Diocese of Lansing. And it was a response to a tweet sent out by our Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who says, I'm fighting like hell for every Michigander's right to an abortion. And so they came up with their theme of, well, we're going to fight like heaven to defeat Proposal 3. So there are a lot of resources, and many of them were created by the Diocese of Lansing, but also the Michigan Catholic Conference has partnered, and then Aaron Carlson here at the Diocese has also helped create some resources for us here at the Diocese that I wanted to share with you. So if you click on this, and there is a link to this presentation with all the links in the Building Leader Update, you can get all kinds of resources here about voting no on Proposal 3, why it's important, but I will highlight the things that are in there for you. So first of all, the biggest reason why we want to get the word out about Proposal 3 is that the language is very, very confusing, and it's meant to be. So the language that's being put on the ballot, and there is a link to this document on the next page, here's what will be put on the ballot, and here's what it actually means. So for example, one ballot language phrase is that it's about reproductive freedom, it's about reproductive health, and don't we all want that? And prenatal care and all those kind of things, and then they slide abortion in there. What the words actually are the state can regulate any kind of abortion care and provide it and support anyone in providing it, including anyone who decides that they are a quote-unquote health professional, healthcare professional. And what this means further is that anyone of any age without parental consent can have access to abortions, and they are legal, and those people who perform those abortions on a 13-year-old girl without her parents' permission cannot be prosecuted. So the verbiage in the ballot summary that voters will see is very, very confusing and doesn't represent what's actually being changed in this constitutional amendment. So this is something that once it's on the books, it cannot be overturned very easily. We would have to rewrite the Constitution because it's an amendment to the Constitution in Michigan, and would open up a door for a lot of things that once put in place, we couldn't put back again. So what are some resources to some of the things we can get the information out there? We can get the proper information out to people's hands, into voters' hands, into our voting students' hands, into our parents' hands, into our communities. So the Diocese, Aaron Carlson with Diocese, has created a Vote No on Proposal 3 page that has lots of resources. The important thing for people to look at is the actual language of the amendment itself, and it is quite lengthy. And of course, that's not going to be on a ballot, but you can see that there are many parts to this amendment, and the language is very broad, meaning anybody can get an abortion at any time, and they can get it basically from anyone who calls himself or herself a healthcare provider, including chiropractors, physical therapists, coaches, and things like that. So we want to make sure that people understand what is the language really saying that they're voting on in November. Lots of printable resources can be found at this link, and this is in conjunction with the Michigan Catholic Conference. It's not loading real quickly for me, but it is an actual link. There is the side-by-side picture comparison. That is not coming up either. And let's see if any of my links will come up. There we go. So there's a one-page overview of the Proposal 3 that's really simple and easily printed, easily sent home to families as a link, maybe even something that you send home to families, something that you can use in your community, in your church, anywhere you feel is appropriate. Diocese of Lansing has created several Fight Like Heaven resources. If I can get my page to load for me here, including a 54-day Rosary Novena that you can jump in and join. You can have older students join that. You can read about a lot of the things. There are videos, there are testimonies, there's all kinds of resources on the Diocese of Lansing page, as well as our own Saginaw Diocese page. And Michigan Catholic Conference has also created several resources to use. There is so much information out there that we can get into the hands of our families to help them make the right decision. I've linked here specific resources for teachers. So starting with very young children who don't understand the abortion issue, obviously they're not developmentally ready to handle that. But the right to life and dignity of the human person, teachers can use anything off of this website. You'll need to dig in a little bit and find out what's appropriate for your grade level, but there's everything from coloring pages to discussion questions and things like that on respecting life. Middle school students, there are several resources here. It's a great homeschooling resource, and there's a curriculum here on pro-life. It's not loading very well, but there you go. There are some middle school resources